Hello Virgo, Elsie here to give you a reading. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. Virgo, I'm here to do this reading, and this reading could resonate today, but it could resonate tomorrow, next week, next year. It's not always going to be something that is going to resonate at this very moment for everybody, because we're not all at the same place at the same time, learning the same damn things, right? So welcome here. Thank you so much for showing up here. If you're brand new, I hope that you will stay. And if you're somebody who keeps coming back, if you're the ride or die Virgo, thank you so much for doing that. We're doing a 9-card draw this week. That's what's lighting up my brain this week. Let's find out what's going on for you, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter. And if you are interested in a private read, or you're interested in getting in on the extended, then I will tell you how to find that at the end of this video. Let's find out what's going on for you, Virgo. Happy new moon to you. As you get this video, it might already be the new moon, or maybe even past it, but I am dropping these cards late in the evening on the 19th, so it might already be the new moon. This is a really special one, right? It's very powerful, and this is a new cycle that's coming up. New moons are always about new cycles. Let's find out what's coming up for you in this new cycle here. We've got the King of Cups, but the King of Cups is in the reverse, revealing some sort of feeling, some sort of nostalgic feeling here. Tell me more. We've got the Death card. It feels like there is somebody here who is revealing some sort of nostalgic feelings, or revealing the way they felt about something for a really long time. Something here is coming back to someone's view, because the Six of Cups could be something that comes from the past back to the forefront again. And we are in retrograde energy right now, right? Mercury is just moving from Sagittarius back into Scorpio. And Scorpio is where it's going to stay, I feel, until the end of the retrograde. So Scorpio energy showing up here, right, with the Death card, which is transformation, or something that's ending. It almost feels like there is a transformation or a change about the way you feel about something that happened back there, because you're looking at it different now, from a different point of view or a different perspective than you did when it happened. So it feels like, although it's quite emotional, and I feel like you're finally going to let somebody know how you feel about that thing that happened back there. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Five of Pentacles. It almost feels like you're excited because now you finally get the chance to say something about it, because everybody always looks at you like the stoic, I'm going to say, the person who never says anything, who doesn't offer their opinion. I just don't really care about that thing. They look at you as someone who doesn't ever take a side, and it almost feels like you're finally going to offer your emotional opinion on something that is nostalgic. So something that happened in the past, but I feel like it's coming to the present moment in order for you to see it again. But now you're sort of excited because whatever was out in the cold, or whatever was expected to be left out in the cold, is something that we're finally going to talk about. We could be talking about the Ace of Cups. It could be that you've changed the way you feel about somebody, or you changed the way, maybe when you knew this person before, you didn't tell them how you felt. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be about any subject. But it feels like you're kind of excited to show somebody how emotionally connected you are to them, or how you felt about the situation that happened back there. I don't think that you are ready to show your feelings back there. Now, when the King of Cups is in the reverse, they are somebody who's finally revealing their feelings or saying their feelings, but it could also be in a very emotional way. Like, it could be bringing you to tears. It could be something that is very emotional, because I feel like it's something that you've been disconnected from. It's like you've chosen to detach from the way that you felt about the situation, because you thought that there would never be the outcome that you wanted. And so you detached from it. But I feel like now it comes back to the present moment, and now you're looking at it again in the face. The Death card and the Ace of Cups tells me that you have changed the way you feel about whatever went on here. You changed the way you feel sort of in the heart space about whatever went on here. We do have the Three of Wands. So this does tell me that this is future energy. So it does feel like this is happening for you in the future. And in the future, you're going to be very excited for the opportunity to be able to reveal your feelings or how you felt about a situation. Maybe when you were a child. Like maybe this happened when you were a child and now you feel a different type of way than you did back then. Maybe you just kept your mouth shut. Maybe you just disconnected from the family or disconnected from the memory or dissociated from the memory. So you didn't have to deal with feeling those feelings, because I think that you knew that once you started feeling those feelings, Virgo, that they would just boom, come out the top and that would be it. But because we are in Mercury retrograde, right, it feels like something is now coming back. It feels like a cycle is coming back or a situation is coming back again. And so now the Seven of Cups is here with the Five of Pentacles, and it makes me feel like you tried to dissociate, disconnect, or detach from the situation because it made you feel so in lack. It made you feel so confused that you decided, I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to deal with it, but you're going to have to deal with it in the future, because it looks like something like, you know, with all of the placements the way they are, Pluto in Aquarius, and when Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, things are coming from the bottom to the top. We're thinking about those things or bringing those things back so we can deal with the things that were really deeply buried. We can deal with those things finally. And so I think that's what this reading is about for you here, Virgo. We've got the Three of Cups in the reverse. And so it feels like it's not going to be easy to deal with. It doesn't feel like it's a particularly happy situation for you. Look, maybe you're just not happy because somebody has broke the dam, right? Maybe you're going to get overly emotional, or possibly that this Three of Cups in the reverse here, it feels like it's not really a celebratory time, but it is a time for you to change how you feel about something. And possibly now in this time, in this present moment, maybe you're allowing yourself to feel those feelings. Maybe somebody said, you're not allowed to feel those feelings. The Five of Pentacles is here. I'm going to put you out on the outside looking in if you tell anybody about what's going on here. It feels like it is something that's gone on in the past that has now come back around to the present moment, but it could be something about your childhood, but it could be something just emotional that happened back there. It could be with a friend, right? For me, Six of Cups is friends, family, or somebody, a friend who feels like family, but it feels like the old cycle is over. You need to end the nostalgic way you were looking at it, and you need to be honest and truthful about your feelings. But I feel like when it comes to the surface, it's going to be this. And I think that's why the King of Cups is in the reverse, because the Seven of Cups is here. It feels like it's going to be a very confusing and emotional time for you, whereas the Four of Cups here, you would rather stay in your comfort zone, which is the King of Cups in the upright. I don't think you're going to have that luxury. However, that being said, it's going to be the beginning of something kind of exciting, because I feel like this coming up in the future is finally clearing something up that I feel has been under the surface and you've had to suffer in silence for a while. And I don't think you're suffering in silence anymore. I'm going to put down two cards here, and that's going to be what's under the surface. Let's find out what's going on under the surface. We've got the Strength card. And we've got the Five of Wands. See, those cards are both indecision and holding back. It feels like, although you knew that you had the information, the accurate information, you knew that you had the weapon, okay? Let's just look at it as the sword that's in the sheath on your hip. You knew that the sword was there, and you could whip out the sword at any moment and say the truth, but you chose to hold it back. You chose to have the courage to not say anything, but it was mostly because of indecision. You didn't want to cause strife. You didn't want to cause argument. It feels like it was something you were literally suffering in silence about. Let's talk about the Six of Cups. What are we talking about here? Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about the Six of Cups, Virgo. We've got the Nine of Wands. See, this thing weighed heavy on you, and the Nine of Wands to me as a reader is always about feeling so exhausted, about trying to conceal things that we really want to bring to the surface. And when we bring them to the surface, then we can heal them. But the Nine of Wands is a place where we're sort of in burnout. And I feel like for you, it's emotional burnout. I couldn't say anything. I was detached. I was detached from my feelings. It feels like this is a little bit trauma. You could be revealing to someone in the family that there was a lot of trauma going on that somebody didn't know about. And somebody may have threatened you and said, you better keep your mouth shut. Tell me about the Nine of Wands. We've got the Judgment card. Very interesting. This is a rebirth. I feel like this is a rebirth because the Death and the Judgment together for me is an awakening. It's the feeling of I finally got to release this because I am at rock bottom and I am burnt out. I can't hold this under the surface any longer. It's somebody here who is finally releasing something in order to have some sort of a new beginning. And bravo to you, I'm going to say, if this is you. I feel like the reason that you didn't reveal this sooner, make the decision to reveal this sooner, is because you didn't want to be seen as a troublemaker or someone who is acting a fool. This particular Fool card in this deck, which is the Marchetti Tarot, you can see that the Fool is holding a card of the Fool. That's the very first deck that was made in Tarot, and that particular Fool was considered like the court jester. Somebody nobody took seriously. You're just the entertainment. You're a fool. You know, I mean, nobody ever took this person seriously. And so I feel like you didn't want to be seen as someone who's not being taken seriously. I feel like this Fool does not want to be counted as a fool. I feel like this particular Fool is you taking the leap of faith because you know that this has got to end. It feels like this has got to end, and now I feel differently about the situation today than I did when I was a child or whatever has happened in the past, however long ago that was. Anything for me in the past is yesterday or anything that happened before then. So tell me why the Ace of Wands is here, because it does feel like, first of all, it feels like somebody has burnt something to the ground, because before the Ace of Wands comes the 10. And it feels like you carried this around for a really long time, but in this energy of you revealing, look, this is Scorpio energy, so I feel like this is all happening under the new moon, where this is a new cycle for you, and you're like, I'm just going to let it fly. I don't really care who doesn't like that I'm going to let it fly. But I kept it, I held it back for a really long time and argued with myself. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm bringing it out into the light. 5 and 1 is 6. We've got the 10 of Pentacles. It could have something to do with your workplace. It could have something to do with family, legacy, money, tradition, something to do with health, wealth. We've got the 7 of Pentacles. And we've got the 10 of Wands, yeah. I did mention that, didn't I? Because before the Ace of Wands comes the 10 of Wands. We go from the 1 to the 10, and as we go back to the new cycle, we have the Ace again. I feel like you couldn't hold this down any longer. I want to say the 7 of Pentacles is here saying that you worked really hard on trying to hold it down, like carry it with you and not say anything about it, but I think it was wrecking your mental health. And so the 10 of Wands is telling me you carried it for as long as you could, friend. So it feels like with this 7 of Pentacles, you worked really hard on trying to keep it buried here and not say anything about it, but I feel like the reveal is too much for you to bear emotionally any longer. So it does feel like with the 10 of Wands that you did in fact burn out. So it feels like you could no longer hold it down emotionally anymore. So I think that the Ace of Wands is more like a reveal, or it's more like a volcano that bursts open. It's like the pressure is finally off and you get to finally say something about it. This 5 of Pentacles here almost feels like it was a threat. Or it feels like somebody threatened your finances or threatened you, or it feels like you were living in this 5 of Pentacles, the disconnection, being left outside. I'm gonna kick you out of the family or write you out of the will, or it almost feels like a threat to me. Tell me what the 5 of Pentacles is. Tell me what the 5 of Pentacles is for Virgo. We've got the Four of Wands. It does feel like it is family related or something to do with stability. Maybe they're going to write you out of the will, or maybe you're not going to get the house, or you can't live here anymore, or I'll just kick you out of the house. It feels like somebody was going to be disconnected from the family. We've got the Lovers here. Why is that? We've got the Page of Wands. So you had some information, I feel, as a child, because the Page of Wands is here. You had some information that you chose not to talk about because it's family. And I really do feel that someone in the family threatened you and said, don't you dare say a word. And I think you kept it to yourself until you grew into the adult who finally is releasing it and letting it go. And it feels like it's rather emotional. You are bringing something to an abrupt end here. And I think what you're bringing to an end is this Ace of Cups here, saying, you know what, I just want to make everybody happy. Everybody should be happy. Well, I think that time is over for you, because I think it was wrecking your mental health. I think in the future, whatever was confusing or overwhelming, I feel like there was an illusion going on, that everything was fine. But you knew that it wasn't, and you had some information as a child that you chose not to say because of the Four of Wands, because you wanted to have this celebratory, happy home. It's like we had a big, happy family on the outside, and nobody knew what was going on the inside. But really what was going on the inside is the Five of Pentacles. So we are going to talk more about this in the extended, because we have a lot more to talk about. This requires more time, and I feel like you held it back for as long as you could, but I feel like somebody here is finally finding the courage to stop beating up on themselves and finally say something. Even though it's going to create lack, it's going to end a cycle of you beating up on your mental health. It also feels like it clears your heart space, I'm going to say, with the Ace of Cups here. It feels like it pulls the weight off of your shoulders here. We have the Three of Cups in the reverse. It's not going to make other people happy. Three of Cups in the reverse could be the end of happiness. This is going to cause a big ripple in your family or in the workplace. And it feels like it is something that you were keeping under wraps because you didn't want to cause any trouble, and you just allowed the illusion to go on. But I think that as we get closer into the future here, that you can no longer allow it to go on. Ooh, look at that. The Ace of Swords is here. Clarity is coming. Somebody is saying something. The Ace of Swords is truth. It's contract. It's, I'm breaking the contract. Yep, the Sun is here. I'm finally just going to say so. I'm just going to have this breakthrough and bring to light everything that I'm supposed to bring to light. And I feel like this Ace of Swords, the clarity, the truth, is what brings everything to an end. And I think you're willing to accept the consequences of whatever it is, because I feel like you're doing the right thing. Virgo, I'm going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be there, please look at the comment section. At the very top of the comment section is one pinned comment, and you can look at it, click on more. You'll see a whole list that'll pop out there. You can go into the extended if you would like to go into the extended. It is in the membership area, so you'll get 4 extendeds in a month if you're interested in that, or more if you're looking at more signs. If you're interested, you can purchase just this extended outright. I will have a link in the pinned comment for you. And if this is something to do with your personal, or you're interested in a personal reading, please know that I do pre-recorded readings. I also do live readings. So the pre-recorded readings are, if you look at the link for Hypsee, you can go take a look at my pricing and take a look at the kind of packages that I have. But also you can take a look at the hours that I have available. If you book ahead for a live reading, you will get between 5 and 75% off of your call. So I'm going to go for now, but I will be in the extended. If that's where you want to be, I will be there. And if this is where we part, that's cool, because I'll be back, because I'm always back. Take care, Virgo. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.